हेलो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, आज मैं एक स्कूल लेवल का टॉपिक पढ़ाने जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये जो टॉपिक है इसको फंडामेंटली समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है। अगर एक बार समझ में आ गया तो आगे का जो सिग्नल सिस्टम का टॉपिक है वो बहुत आसान हो जाएगा। ठीक है, देखो ये टॉपिक है, ये एक्चुअली स्ट्रेट लाइन का स्लोप कैसे फाइंड आउट करना है, आज उसके बारे में हम लोग पढ़ेंगे। इजीली हाउ टू राइट द इक्वेशन ऑफ ए स्ट्रेट लाइन, how to write the equation of a straight line very easily by seeing the straight line whether the slope is positive or negative, how to say quickly, and how to find out the slope easily, and how to write down the equation by mx plus a c form. So that idea I am going to provide in this class today. ओके, देखते रहना, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, बहुत मजेदार चीज है, इसको ध्यान से देखो। अगर ये समझ में आ गया ना, तुम लोगों को इतना अच्छा लगेगा, तुम लोग बोलोगे कि नहीं सर सिग्नल सिस्टम टॉपिक हम लोगों को इतना बढ़िया लग रहा है कि खाली सिग्नल सिस्टम टॉपिक पढ़ने के लिए मन कर रहा है। ठीक है, देखते रहना। देखो स्लोप क्या है, स्लोप तो किसी भी स्ट्रेट लाइन, सपोज एक्चुअली ये टाइम एक्सिस, क्योंकि हम लोग यहाँ पे टाइम एक्सिस को ऑलवेज कंसीडर करेंगे। एक्चुअली स्कूल लेवल में क्या पढ़ रहे थे, दिस इज एक्स एक्सिस, दिस इज वाई एक्सिस, बट सिंस वी आर डीलिंग विथ सिग्नल्स एंड आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड इन केस ऑफ सिग्नल एनालिसिस दिस abscissa is always taken as time. This is independent variable, so therefore I will take always t in this axis. Okay, now here, so any variable you can assign. Let us consider actually xt. X is a function of time. Understood? Now frame is prepared. That means over this t axis, this is now a plane. So in this plane we will plot actually straight lines. See, suppose this is a straight line. Then first tell whether the slope of the straight line is positive or negative. Whether the slope of the straight line is positive or negative. First you have to tell. First you have to answer whether the slope is positive or negative. See, whatever the signal you have, now this is a signal. Because I am plotting with respect to time. This is a signal, you can say. Now if this is a signal, then first you have to consider the signal starts from minus infinity to plus infinity, because it is a continuous time signal I am considering. And any continuous time signal you have to take, you have to consider the time from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now here minus infinity in this side, here plus infinity in this side. Now from minus infinity to plus infinity, you just think that you are moving over the signal. Very interesting. You are moving over the signal. That means you are coming from minus infinity in this direction, then you are rising, then you are moving to infinite in this direction. Because this straight line is going in this manner. Try to understand. Suppose I am having this signal. Try to understand. So that means you just think that the signal starts from minus infinity time. So you are moving in this manner, then you are rising, then you are falling, then you are going towards infinite in this direction. Try to understand, very interesting. So any signal you have, you can assign the direction over the signal in this manner. Think that you are coming from minus infinity and you are moving towards plus infinity. Very interesting. Again I am repeating, suppose you are having this signal. See, what you are doing? You are coming from minus infinity in this manner, then you are rising over the signal, then you are falling, then you are moving towards plus infinity in this direction. That means from minus infinity time to plus infinity time, you just imagine that you are moving over the signal, accordingly you are assigning the direction. From minus infinity to plus infinity, you just imagine you are moving over the signal, and accordingly you just assigning the direction at each and every point. This is very vital. Once you understand these things, it is very easy to say whether the slope of the straight line at any point is positive or negative. Understood? At any draw, wherever you just draw the straight line, doesn't matter. You can easily say the slope is positive or negative. Understood? देखो, फिर से देखो. Suppose I am drawing actually this signal. Try to understand. Suppose I am drawing this signal. This is time axis. This is the signal. Suppose. So now, how to assign direction each and every point over this signal? Now, signal means just think the signal starts from minus infinity and terminating at plus infinity. This is very important. Now you are coming from minus infinity in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, in this direction. Then we are moving in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, in this direction. Then we are going towards infinite in this direction. Try to understand. So this is the signal direction assigned each and every point. Okay. Now suppose you are having this line. Suppose you are having this straight line. Try to understand. Now how to assign? Actually the signal starts from minus infinity. Actually the signal starts from minus infinity and terminate at plus infinity, because it's a continuous time signal. And in case of continuous time signal, you have to consider each and every time from minus infinity to plus infinity, and at each and every time the signal is defined. Understood? So that means, see, here you are coming from minus infinity in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, in this direction. Then you are falling, then you are falling, then you are rising, then you are rising, then you are moving towards infinite in this direction. Try to understand. In this way, you can assign the direction at each and every point on the signal. Suppose this is the point, what is the direction? This is the direction. This is the point, this is the direction. Every point you can assign the direction. Understood? Very simple. Now, once you assign the direction, then you can easily say whether the slope of the straight line is positive or negative. How? When you are rising, the slope is positive. When you are falling, the slope is negative. Remember, when you are rising, actually in the imaginary sense, you are moving over the signal. So when you are rising, then the slope is positive. When you are falling, then the slope is negative. Very simple. That means, see here, now this is time axis. Suppose you are having this signal. You are coming from minus infinity in this direction. Now you are rising over the signal. You are rising over the signal. You are rising. So therefore the slope is positive. Understood? Now, suppose you are having this signal. Suppose you are having this signal. Try to understand. You are coming from minus infinity. You are coming from minus infinity. Then you are falling. You are falling over this line. You are falling. So therefore slope is negative. Try to understand. Suppose you are having this signal. Suppose you are having this signal. Try to understand. So you are coming from minus infinity. You are coming from minus infinity. Then you are falling over this line. You are falling. Then you are rising. No problem. But here you are falling. So therefore slope of this line is negative. Slope of this line is negative. But if you are not falling, neither falling nor rising, then the slope is 0. Try to understand. Here, then the slope is 0. Try to understand. Here, what is this? Here, you are neither falling nor actually you are moving from minus infinity in this direction. You are moving. Here, you are neither falling nor rising. So therefore, this straight line having slope 0. Slope is 0. Try to understand this beautiful concept. So that means when you are rising, slope is positive. When you are falling, slope is negative. When you are neither rising nor falling, the slope is 0. That means again I am repeating, here see this straight line having slope positive because rising. This straight line having slope negative, this is negative because falling. This straight line having slope positive because rising. Rising because you just imagine from minus infinity you are coming. And you are falling here, then you are moving towards plus infinity by rising over this line and then moving in this direction. So therefore this is positive. Understood? Very simple. Now suppose you are having this line. Suppose anybody asks, this is the line. Then what will be the slope? Think that this line is connected in this manner. Actually this was the portion. But think that you just extend the line and the line connecting here and here. Then what you will do? We are coming from minus infinity, rising, rising, then we are falling. Then we are moving towards infinity. So therefore, here you are falling, slope is negative. So any point, any straight line is drawn, you can easily say whether the slope is positive or negative. Very interesting. Whether the slope is positive or negative. Now, suppose you are having this curve. See, at this point, if you draw the tangent, this is the tangent, and over the tangent, you are rising. Over the tangent you are rising, so therefore slope is positive. Now here, if you draw the tangent, here negative, because here you are falling. If you imagine this is extended and you are coming from minus infinity, definitely you will fall. So therefore this is negative. So any point you just draw the tangent, you can say whether the straight line or whether the tangent having the slope positive or negative. Very simple analysis. Understood? I think you understood how to detect the slope is a positive or negative. Any straight line is drawn or any curve is drawn at the point, any point the tangent having the slope is positive or negative. Understood? Now see. So now suppose you are having this straight line. Try to understand. Very interesting. Now suppose this value is 1, this value is also 1. Now you have to say the slope is positive or negative, then you have to write the equation of the straight line. Very interesting. Now for finding equation, first of all you have to find out the magnitude of the slope. Try to understand. What you have to do? You have to find out the magnitude of the slope. And how to get the magnitude of the slope? Magnitude is nothing but change in y value divided with change in x value. Try to understand. Change in y by change in x. Change in x. Here x is nothing but t. Y is nothing but actually y axis or this vertical axis you are considering. Understood? Change in y by change in x. Now you just take the mod in both numerator and denominator so that you can get the magnitude of slope. The magnitude of slope is very interesting. Magnitude of slope. First of all, you have to find the magnitude. Then you have to assign the sign by seeing the slope is positive or negative. It will be easy. You can write actually very fast the slope. First, you have to write the magnitude. Then you have to assign the sign here, whether the slope is positive or negative. It will be easy. Understood? Otherwise, directly you can find out. No problem. So see, if this mod is not put here, then what will find? Change in y here. Change in y matlab final minus initial. This is very important. Final minus initial. ये बहुत important. Final minus initial. That means when you see the straight line, just imagine you are coming from minus infinity to plus infinity and you are moving over the line in this manner. That means initial is this point, final is this point. This is very important. Which is initial point, which is final point? This is very important. So this is initial point, this is final point. Now what you have to do? Initial, final. The straight line initial point, final point. Now final minus initial. Final y value. Final y value is what? Actually when you are moving in this manner, y value starts from 1 and terminates at 0 because this is 0, here 0, y 1 to 0. 1 to 0, y reducing from 1 to 0, not from 0 to 1. Try to understand. 1 to 0. So final value is what? Final value is 0. Minus. Initial value is what? Final 0, initial is 1. Change in y. By change in x. Change in x what? Final when you are moving over here, that means you are starting from this to this na, in over x axis. So therefore final value 1, initial value 0. This is minus 1 by 1, that is minus 1. That means slope is actually minus 1. But if you think in this manner, final, initial, it will take time. So therefore what you have to do? You have to find out the magnitude first. So this change is what? 1. Directly just write 1. This change is what? 1. Directly write 1. So whether there is a final, initial, doesn't matter. So mod you have to take actually mod value. So now 1 by 1, that is 1. Now slope is falling, that means negative, minus 1. That's all. Very simple. Very simple. So in this way you can evaluate the slope of any straight line. Slope of any straight line. Try to understand again. Again I am repeating. Suppose this is the straight line. This is suppose minus 2, this is suppose 1. So now how to find out the slope? The first y means minus 2. You should not write it till minus 2. Minus 2 mod. This is minus 2 mod. Divided by this is 1 mod. That's all. This is 2. Now rising or falling? So rising because you are moving from minus infinity. Rising is plus 2. Slope is plus 2. Try to understand. Slope is plus 2. Understood? Now whatever the straight line you have, suppose you are having this straight line. Try to understand. This is the straight line. What you have to do? This is suppose 2. This is suppose 4. Then change in y is 4. Change in x is 2. Actually you have to take more, no problem. This is 4 by 2. This is equal to 2. Now, you are falling or rising? You are falling because you are coming from minus infinity. Imagine you are coming from minus infinity. You are falling. Falling means minus 2. Slope is minus 2. That's all. Very quickly you can write. Understood? Very quickly you can write. Okay? So now, suppose you are having this line. Try to understand. This is time axis. This is the, suppose actually you are having this line. This is suppose minus 4. This is suppose minus 2. This is minus. This is also time axis minus. Now, how to find out slope? Y by x. Always y by x. Y by mod y. So minus 2 mod. divided by x minus 4 more. This is your 2 by 4. This is 1 by 2. Now, you are coming from minus infinity. You are falling or rising? You are falling. That means slope is negative. Minus 1 by 2 is slope. You have to put minus sign here. Minus 1 by 2 is slope. Very quickly you can answer. Very quickly you can answer. So, wherever the straight line doesn't matter, you can say directly, suppose you are having this straight line. Try to understand. This straight line. Now, suppose actually this value is given 5. Now, here any point another value is given. Suppose this is x value is given. This x value is suppose actually 10. Suppose actually it is given at 2. Try to understand. Now, how to find out the slope of this line? Now, this value must be given. This value suppose it is given actually suppose 9. Now, change in y. See, you are moving from this to this. Any 2 points is considered over the signal. Change in y. This is 9 minus 5, 4. Change in x. See, what is change in x? 2 minus 0. Here, 2 minus 0. That is 2. So, that means 2. Now, you are rising. Rising means slope is positive. The slope is plus 2. Slope is plus 2. Understood? So, any straight line you have, now you can able to say whether the slope of the straight line is positive or negative, and how to find out the slope. That idea also I have provided. For finding the slope, you just find change in y by change in x. And remember, one of the most important concept, the straight line, suppose you are having this straight line, see, very important. Suppose you are having this straight line. Now, the slope of the straight line, suppose actually slope is suppose actually 1. Now, this slope is the same, whatever the portion of the straight line you have to choose. Whatever the portion of the straight line you have to choose, the slope is same. That means from this to this portion, slope is 1. This to this portion, slope is 1. Any portion is this to this portion, slope is 1. Any portion you have to choose, the slope is 1. Any portion. That means if you are having a straight line, this portion slope is the same as this portion slope. Any straight line if you extend, slope will not change. Slope will not change. Extension of the straight line gives the same slope. Whatever the portion of the straight line you just take doesn't matter. This is very, very important. This is very, very important. That means suppose you are having this straight line, try to understand what I am telling, what I am going to discuss. Suppose you are having this straight line. The straight line starts from this point, time axis. Now suppose I am saying this straight line, suppose actually this straight line slope is 2. Slope is 2. This is your slope. Now if you extend here backwards, then also slope of this portion is 2. If you extend here this side, back side, slope is also 2. This side, slope is also 2. So slope will not change. Slope will not change. Any portion you just take, whatever the slope, that will remain. Whatever the other portion you just take of the same extended straight line, doesn't matter. Understood? Okay, very good. Now see, how to write the straight line equation. See here, straight line equation you can write y is equal to mx plus a c form. Very important. So C is what? C is the y-intercept. At what point it touches the y-axis or crosses the y-axis. Y-axis. This is y-intercept. Y-intercept. Intercept. Not actually x-intercept. Y-intercept. M is what? M is slope. Slope. Slope means magnitude as well with sign. Now x means what? X is horizontal axis. Horizontal axis. Horizontal axis. Horizontal axis. Horizontal axis. Right. So here actually I can say in y-axis, suppose I am considering signal. Signal means x-axis I have to take t. Here y-axis anything. Suppose x. No problem. So y is equal to mx plus c. Matlab x is equal to mt x mt plus a c. This will be the equation for any straight line whenever you are dealing with signals. Understood? Now see, how to write down the equation? Very simple. Suppose you are having this straight line. Try to understand. Very interesting. Now you want to write down the equation of this straight line. Okay. Now any point here it is given. Suppose this is the point which is given. So this value is given. This is suppose actually 1. This is suppose actually 2. It is given. Now you have to write down the equation of this straight line. So it must be given because you have to find out change in y by change in x. Any portion change in y by change in x you have to find out for finding the magnitude of the slope. Remember it. If not given, you have to find out. You have to imagine. You have to think how to get up to change in y by change in x. This will be the problem for you. Sub. See. So now here, what is the change in y? So first find out m. M is equal to what? Change in y 2 by change in x 1 mod. Don't assign minus plus etc. Always find out in this manner first. So now what is this? This is your 2. Now you are rising over this signal. Slope is positive. That means slope is plus 2. Directly you just write. That means your m value is plus 2. Now C means what? Y intercept. This straight line, this is the straight line where it touches y axis at this point. This is y axis. That means 0. Y intercept is 0. So you have to write the equation y means this is suppose x, this is suppose t. Y means here x you are considering. X is equal to y is equal to mx. M matlab kya? Plus 2. Plus 2. T xt plus c. C means 0. Y intercept 0. So this will be the equation of the straight line. Y is equal to mx plus. That means x is equal to 2t. Similarly, any straight line you have, you can write the equation very easily. Any straight line you have, you can write the equation very easily. Now see, suppose you are having this straight line. Now this value suppose is given 1, this value is also 1. Now see, y is equal to mx plus c, this is time axis, this is your x suppose, x is equal to. So first find out the slope, slope is magnitude of slope y by x, 1 by 1, this is 1. Now you are falling, this means slope is minus 1. So how to write equation? Y is equal to, y means x, here x axis is considered by axis. Y is equal to mx, m matlab kya? Minus 1. X matlab t plus c. C matlab this straight line touches here at 1. Y intercept value kitna? 1 plus 1. So that means this is minus t plus 1. This is the equation. X is equal to minus t plus 1. So it is very easy to write down the equation of any straight line wherever the straight line is given. Suppose you are having this straight line. Try to understand now. This is suppose minus 2. This is suppose 1, minus 1. Then how to write down the equation? First you have to write y by x. Slope. Slope is what? Slope means magnitude. Magnitude of slope. This is your minus 2 by minus 1. Mod. Always take mod. This is 2 by 1. This is 2. Now you are falling. Falling means slope is negative. So now how to write equation? This is suppose x. This is suppose t. So y is equal to, matlab x is equal to mx. 2. X matlab t. Y intercept. Where it touches y axis? Minus 2. C. Where it touches y axis? Minus 2. Y axis. Y axis means here y axis. Minus 2. So minus 2. So this is the equation. Straight line equation. Very simple. This is the straight line equation. It is very simple. Now similarly at any point or at any portion, at anywhere the straight line is drawn. Suppose this is a straight line and this point is given and this point is given. See here. This point is suppose actually 1, this is 3, this is suppose 1, this is suppose 2. Then you have to find out the straight line equation. So how to find out the straight line equation? It is very simple. So y is equal to mx plus c. See, here it is very interesting to find out the y-intercept. This is time axis, this is your x. Now how to find out y-intercept? To find out y-intercept, you have to extend this straight line. Extension. You have to make the extension of the straight line. For this, you have to find out the slope first. Now, here what is change in y? This portion change. So now you are getting this triangle. Change in y. Change in y is what? 2 minus 1, 1. Divided by change in x, 3 minus 1, 2. The slope is 1 by 2. The slope is 1 by 2. So now this is rising. That means slope is plus 1 by 2. Slope is this straight line having the slope plus 1 by 2. Now if you extend, so where it will touch, that I am going to find out. See here, where it will touch, that I am going to find out. So now if you extend, it may not touch actually origin. It touches anywhere in the y-axis. So how to find out this thing? How to find out this thing? So for this what you have to do? So you just extend this line and form a triangle. See here, how to get. This is very interesting. Okay, so this is actually y, x, change in x. Change in x what? Change in x is equal to 3 minus 0 now, 3 divided by. Change in y, you don't know what is the change in y, but what is final value? You know the final value because you have to observe this triangle, this triangle, this triangle, this triangle. 2, final value 2. What is initial value? You don't know. Minus something. Suppose minus actually p. You don't know what is the value. So change in y by change in x. This is the slope 1 by 2 because slope is same everywhere. This portion will just take or this portion will just take. Slope is same. So that means if you find out, what you will find? This is 6 is equal to 2 minus p. This is your P is equal to 2 minus 6, this is your minus 4. That means this point is actually minus 4. Though draw is a little bit wrong, but this portion is minus 4. Then what is y-intercept? Y-intercept is minus 4. So how to write the equation now? Y is equal to, y means what? X is equal to mx. M kitna hai? 1 by 2. xt minus 4. Y-intercept minus 4. This is actually the answer. Understood? So in this way, you can write the equation of any straight line very easily by knowing the equation y is equal to mx plus c. Suppose you are having this straight line. Now let us discuss another question. Suppose you are having this straight line. Any straight line you can draw. Suppose this is the straight line. Okay. Now you have to write the equation. So this is 5. This is suppose 2. Now how to write? So y means directly I am now writing x. M matlab change in y will change 5 by 2. Now rising means plus 5 by 2. T x plus c. C means what? Y-intercept 5. This is the equation. Very quickly you can write. Very quickly you can write. Understood? Now suppose a portion is there. Suppose actually here the straight line starts. Now this is given suppose 2. Now slope is suppose given. Slope is equal to suppose actually 2. Again slope is given 2. Then how to find out the equation? So for this you have to find out the y-intercept. You just extend this. It is touching here. So this will be the y-intercept. Now you have to find out this y-intercept. That's all. So slope is same anywhere you know. Now here in this triangle you just find out this value. This value you have to find out. Suppose this value is p. Now you have to find out p. That's all. Very simple. So how to find out p? Change in y. Change in y is what? P. By change in x is what? 2. So p by 2. P by 2 is equal to what? 2. Because slope is same, na? Slope is same. Here actually magnitude. You are finding magnitude. Now p by 2 is equal to 2. P is equal to kitna hoga? 4. But this is in the negative side. So therefore minus 4. Simple. Always take the magnitude. Then you have to put the sign by seeing where it will cross. This is interesting. That's all. Whether it is cross below this x-axis or above this, matlab t-axis or above this t-axis. Accordingly, you just find out. Understood? Okay. So this is the concept by using which you can able to find out the slope of any straight line. Again, I am repeating. Revision. See, slope positive, slope negative, slope positive, slope negative. Very quickly. Slope positive. Slope positive. Because actually you are rising. You start from minus infinity. Because this straight line is you can extend in this manner. So minus infinity to plus infinity, one straight line rising. So therefore positive. Very interesting. So here suppose actually you are having the straight line. Slope is positive because rising. Here suppose this is the line. Slope is negative. This is falling. Negative, positive, falling. Because you start from minus infinity in this manner. There is a single line. Understood? So therefore in this manner you can say whether the slope is positive or negative and how to write down the straight line equation. Okay? So thank you. This topic is very vital. So again and again you just see this video so that the entire picture must be clearly put in your brain. This is very, very interesting. Okay? Thank you. We will see in the next videos.